Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome today to my 9-week pregnancy update. So as you can probably tell by my energy right now, maybe not, I don't know, but I'm actually feeling pretty good today. And when I woke up, I had already been planning on making this video, but Dan was like, you have to film the video and update everyone because you're gonna come out of this sickness and you're gonna forget. So like, wow, I have a lot to fill you guys in. A lot's been happening. I'm going to show my belly shot. Where do I begin? I'm going to back up, actually. I am going to start with last week, because last week was the week that specifically Dan was requesting that I film, because he's like, you're going to want to remember this, and like other people are going to be able to relate to it. But I was way too sick last week. Keep in mind also, not only was I way too sick, but my family was in town, and anybody that knows me knows that like when my family comes to town, everything falls out the window. I can't get back to people's texts. I can't really edit. I can't do anything except just like be with my family. I am very distracted, which is a good thing, I guess, but it's like a little extreme. Anyways, my family was in town. I was not only super sick, but then I got really worried because about midway through last week, my exhaustion reached a whole nother level, and then my nausea reached a whole nother level, and then I started throwing up, which I have only thrown up a couple times. Most of my nausea has just been nausea with like gagging, and then I'll like maybe throw up some spit, but not like actual throw up. So I started actually throwing up, and I was about to say TMI, but whatever. I feel like if you're watching a pregnancy video, you know that these videos just are TMI. And I had diarrhea, and I was like, oh God. And I'm like Googling, like, can your morning sickness get worse at 9 weeks? Which it totally can. And I was like, this is my life now, because literally, guys, I've been doing nothing. Like, nothing. I just like will sleep so long. I have the beautiful luxury of being able, I've told you guys this, to form my day kind of however I want it. I do my work whenever I want. And so I'm able to just sleep, which is amazing. But it's really hard when you don't have to do something, because I felt like crap. I didn't want to do anything. So I just had been doing nothing. All of this escalated. And then the following day, all of a sudden, my mom starts throwing up. And then my dad. And then my brother starts feeling sick. And then my brother-in-law starts feeling sick. Yeah. Turns out we got the flu. So that really sucked for them and for me. But I was so relieved that it was the flu and not my morning sickness getting worse. I told my mom when I was in the middle of it, I was like, Mom, this is like the worst I felt by far. She's like, really? I'm like, it's so bad. And then when everyone got sick, I was like, so it was kind of like horrible that I was dealing with pregnancy and the flu. Not fun, but a relief that it was that. And not only did that put my other nausea in direct perspective, like, oh yeah, this is just like low grade nausea and queasiness, which still sucks, but I'm not like puking all the time. So it put it in perspective. But also, since my flu has pretty much lifted, I'm noticing, I'm like, I don't think I'm making this up. I'm definitely starting to feel waves of feeling better. So hopefully this continues, because I know that is traditionally what's supposed to happen with women after their first trimester. A lot of women say that their second trimester is easier than their first, and that I've heard women say that like their first trimester was their least favorite part of the whole thing, like birth, every other trimester, all of it. They're like, I would take all of it over the first trimester. So I'm hoping that's the direction I'm going, and I'm having more hope now, because it's like waves of feeling better. Like, oh man, I don't actively want to puke right now. Like, wow, I actually want to get up and do stuff, because with the exhaustion has come this feeling of like, I don't want to do anything. Like, I want to, because I feel so bad about myself. Like, I want to have a life, but I don't want to, because I'm like, I'm dying. Like, I don't want to do anything. And I just lost my drive, and I would just walk around being like, this is the worst. I want my old life back. And the thing about me too is that like when I don't feel good, when I feel unmotivated, when I feel sick, I'm a very like caught in the moment kind of person. Whoa, calm down. I'm a very like caught in the moment kind of person, where like however I'm feeling then, I'm like, that's it. this is how I'm going to feel my whole life. So like all of those feelings, I'm like, am I ever going to have an appetite again? Are vegetables ever going to sound good again? Like, are those days behind me? Am I ever going to be motivated to like create and talk to people or like see people? Like, I didn't want to see anyone. I didn't really want to go anywhere. I forced myself a couple times to do things with people, but it was very small. Like a friend came over and we went on a walk. Like, hey, can I go to church with you, Dan? So like went to church, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm still tired. I'm still nauseous. I still feel icky, but like right at this moment, during this hour, nothing like last week. So even if it all comes rushing back to me by the afternoon or whatever, I'm feeling encouraged just to have like just waves of feeling better. It's like I told Dan, I'm like, it's like I can see the light. Like I all of a sudden wanted to text back friends I wanted to hang out with and like just people I wanted to see, which I guess is the same thing as friends I wanted to hang out with. I just like suddenly have felt, I was like doing my to-do list. I was up like picking stuff up. I made my avocado toast this morning and I wasn't like gagging the whole time. Because that's kind of, side note, one of the things that I've been doing to treat my nausea, except for when I had the flu. So it sucks because it's like my appetite, I keep wanting to say and explain like this is what happens when you're pregnant, but I don't know if it's like this for everyone. I know these are common things, but obviously everyone's different. So like my appetite would go and be gone and everything would sound disgusting. But part of the way to keep the nausea a little more at bay for me has been to continue to like keep my belly full. I haven't been doing the whole snacking all day on crackers. I know everybody says that. That did not help me. I did that in the beginning. It was difficult to even get the crackers down. I found that I did a better job on just like forcing myself to eat fuller meals. And then when my stomach would fill up, not only am I taking a vitamin B6, anywhere from, to close the windows because the dogs were freaking out. So I think where I left off was that I will get food in my belly and then I'll take a vitamin B6 anywhere from 1 to 3 times a day. That's kind of, vitamin use is kind of debated on how much you can take, but I believe that because vitamin B is soluble and I think each body has different needs and people react differently, I've been noticing that when I take vitamin C consistently throughout the day, my stomach reacts better. I feel a little bit less nauseous. It's so weird though with the nausea because the way that it's been working for me is like I'll be nauseous, nothing will sound good. Everything will sound disgusting. All my favorite foods. I mean, dude, I'm not even drinking tea anymore, which I know a lot of people would say good because that's good because you're not supposed to drink caffeine when you're pregnant. I think you can drink small amounts, especially in something like tea, but everybody's got, what's comfortable for them. But I haven't even wanted it. I can't even drink it because it just like tastes so disgusting to me right now, which is like crazy if you've been following my channel for the last 8 years. But everything will sound disgusting, and then all of a sudden my brain will think of one thing, and I'm like, that's what I could eat. I could actually eat that. So I mentioned this in one of my Day in My Life videos. Dan has been great in like helping me get whatever it is that I'm like, okay, I can stomach that. And they've been the most random foods. Hot dogs. Dude, I hadn't had a Costco hot dog in literally 10 years, and I had 3 over the course of like a week and a half. Now, that sounds disgusting. Even talking about it's a little nauseating, but that's what I wanted then. Random like tuna salads. Yesterday I wanted bar taco, and it really wasn't satisfying when I got it. I was like kind of gagging in between bites, but that's all I could think of. Like everything sounded disgusting. So I'm like, I gotta get something down. So I ate that. And then afterwards I was like, I want a McFlurry so bad. We ended up going to Sonic to get, because Dan was like, it's the same thing. And apparently there's jokes about McDonald's ice cream machines being broken a lot. I don't know. So he took me there and I got my little Sonic freeze thing with like Oreos and M&Ms. And I was eating it and I was like, this is so good. Like no nausea. The taste was amazing. It's just weird, man. Being pregnant has been very weird. So another exciting thing happened last week. I'm not sure if this video is already up yet. If it's not, it will be going up soon, but I don't know. It should be up already. We'll see. But we got our ultrasound, our very first ultrasound. That was crazy. I couldn't even believe it. Our baby's like an inch tall or something like that. And it was so weird. We kept joking because the yolk sac was above the baby's head, so we kept joking it looked like a halo, and the baby had its arms and its legs just like out to the side. So we keep looking at that picture and giggling, and that was pretty cool. And seeing the heartbeat, it was going 169 beats per minute, which I know the old wives' tale is that the faster the heartbeat goes, it's more likely to be a girl. But I found a lot of cases that disprove that too. So I was about to tell you what gender I think we're having, but maybe I'll save that for another video or another time. So a couple other things I want to mention about this point in the pregnancy, things that I've experienced. I'm still peeing a lot. Last night I actually had a horrible night's sleep. I could never really fall asleep. I have been taking, by the way, speaking of nausea and sleep, half of a Unisom tablet at night, and then I'm doing my B6 during the day. Oh, and obviously, I'm doing my anti-nausea bands as well. And then I'm using oils. I'm sniffing peppermint. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of peppermint on the tongue. So yeah, but I slept pretty badly last night because I had to pee every freaking 15 minutes. It was crazy. And for some reason last night, the Unisom never kicked me into dream mode. Or sleep mode. It was really weird. But speaking of sleep, when I am sleeping, I will tell you something I've experienced a lot. Very vivid dreams, and bizarre vivid dreams. They're not all normal. Some of them are really I remember I had a dream one night, and I swear it was hours of me online shopping, okay? And it wasn't even exciting online shopping. Weird. And I'm clicking through things, and I would look at something and I'd go, yeah, I think I'm probably a medium. I click on the next thing. Oh, I like that. I'm probably a medium. Ooh, that's cute. I should probably go for a medium. That was the dream for so long. It was really weird. I remember another dream that I had was that I was considering moving back to California, and I specifically was wanting to move back to our old neighborhood, the house that we lived in before this that was on the lake. It was a fake lake. And don't get me wrong, I loved that neighborhood, loved that house, but it was a fake mini Disneyland lake. This isn't a real lake. But in my dream, I was why did I ever move from here? And it was this long drawn out dream of me walking around the neighborhood, but the home and the neighborhood was on this expansive lake that was so big it was basically an ocean, and it kind of looked like Palm Springs mixed with I don't know, Connecticut, Bridgeport. It was so bizarre. And I'm just walking around, and I'm looking at our old place we lived and trying to find out if anyone's going to be moving anytime soon. And that was the whole dream, just walking around this area. So weird. So yeah, another obviously famous side effect is being emotional when you're pregnant. I predict that I'm going to become more emotional the more pregnant that I get, because I think it's going to be intense having a belly that's just going to grow and get bigger. And I don't know, that's actually the scariest part of pregnancy for me, is the carrying around and the separating of my body. I'm at this point, my mom says it's probably because it's nowhere in front of me, but I don't know, we'll see. At this point, I'm not so scared about delivery, but what I am scared about, and what I was scared about, that's the thing, I was always scared about this, is as my belly and my hips stretch, because, a lot of my aches and pains are in my joints and ligaments and shoulders and neck, and I'm just oh my gosh, my structure's not that great right now as is, and so I'm scared for that to kind of change. So I feel maybe I won't become more emotional, I don't know, but I haven't been that emotional right now. I'm sometimes randomly on edge, but I wouldn't say, my mom claims when she was pregnant, she's I was a different angry person the whole time, and I'm yeah, I don't really feel that way. I've had little swings of oh, I'm so annoyed, but nothing crazy. And same thing with the crying. I've had a couple of crying bouts, but nothing not really. I think I've cried 3 times since I got pregnant, maybe 4 times. Maybe that's a lot if you're not that emotional. So maybe once a week I'm having a good cry, maybe twice. But I don't know. I feel some people, when they talk about being emotional and pregnant, it's everything makes them cry. So maybe as I get farther, maybe as the emotions pump, maybe as I'm dealing with a big belly, I don't know. But right now I don't feel it's anything overboard. That being said, my emotionalism was actually the first real like indication I had that I might be pregnant. I had, stuff before that, like on my birthday. I remember I was telling my friend and esthetician Heather Happy yesterday that on my birthday, which was a few days before I tested positive, I remember feeling weird, but it was like an abnormally good weird. Like I was just zenned out, like on cloud nine on my birthday. I was like, all I want to do is just eat food. I'm just so happy and blessed and lucky to have my life. Like just so happy. And then I just got like tireder as the days went on. And then Friday is when I had my meltdown, like complete, woke up in the morning, had a meltdown, crying. I actually think I still have tear stains on the wall that I need to wipe off. Like, I'm a failure, I'm my husband, what am I doing with my life? And then Saturday is when I tested positive. So it was an early indication. But like I said, I'm not like crying at everything. So something else that I never mentioned in my like first early signs of pregnancy video, that I am glad has gotten better, and someone commented, and I never mentioned this. When I was first pregnant, one of the early things I noticed that I forgot to mention was I was very gassy, like super bloated, super gassy. And I can say that now I'm currently not really very bloated or gassy. Like I feel like I'm kind of back to normal in that sense. So that subsided. Sorry if you can hear her like pattering around. She's climbing all over this desk thing. That subsided a few weeks ago, to be honest. But I remember I saw comments and I wanted to like address that. So the last few things I'm going to talk about and show you are in regards to my baby bump. So here's the thing. I am getting a baby bump, but not really. Like I'm not really showing it all. I've heard that's very common for your first child. Some might be like, no, there's your baby bump. I see it. But I'm telling you, I've always had a baby bump because of the rotation and tilt of my pelvis. Like even when my abs have been super firm and I'm really thin, I always have this little pooch at the bottom. So I don't really see any difference yet, but I feel a difference. Like I was telling Dan, I'm like, dude, I feel pregnant. I can feel that my lower belly is firmer, like I'm expanding. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's just the best way to describe it. It feels like I'm expanding. And I don't think I'm imagining this. This is kind of crazy. I told Dan like last night, my whole belly, like if I stretched up, I feel it actually a little bit this morning. It's like this stretchy, teary feeling. Like now keep in mind, I did take an abs class last week, but I'm telling you, I've worked out my whole life. I know what sore abs feel like. They're not sore abs. It's totally different. It's like this stretchy, teary feeling in my belly. And I'm convinced that that's just because my uterus is expanding and things are starting to grow and prepare to expand. So yeah, guys, that is it for this video. Please give this video a thumbs up if you did like it. It helps to support my channel and now my growing family. And don't forget to check out the info box because not only have I been doing, I call them semi-secret because they're not secret because I'm telling you about them, but I'm not like advertising them everywhere. But I've been doing giveaways in my videos to say thank you to you guys pretty much every single video now. And I wanted to let you know if you made it this far, this is really like a semi-secret because this is at the very end. I am officially launching a Patreon account this week. So Patreon is basically a platform where you can distribute extra content if you want, or people can just support you. I am going to distribute extra content up there, and you can like pledge an amount of money to support that creator. My family is growing, obviously. This is my job and I love doing it. And I felt like when I was kind of weighing it out, I was like, I think this could be a cool way to also kind of, tighten the community a little bit. I don't know if that's the right wording. I feel like anyone that's gonna come over to my Patreon is gonna like understand my heart and get me. And the reason I say that is because I think a lot of the videos over on Patreon are going to just be casual chatty videos. I don't know, I'm kind of open and I talk about that in my intro video. So I have 2 videos up on Patreon right now. I have a video talking to you guys just about the whole platform and life and what I want to do and just evolution and all of that. And then also, if you saw on my channel, I got a lot of messages about this. I uploaded a video last week called How I Got Pregnant So Fast. Don't love the title in retrospect because I'm realizing how that might be a little insensitive. And that's not what I meant by the title. I actually called it that because the only reason I made the video was because I got so many questions about fertility and what I was doing to try to set my body up to get pregnant as fast as possible, because we took specific steps. We weren't just like, let's just start trying. So I worded it that way because pretty much every single person that emailed me, DM'd me, commented, whatever, said, how did you get pregnant so fast? So I was like, I'll call it that, how I got pregnant so fast. Anyways, so I uploaded the video and I ended up taking it down off after a couple of hours because it was a weird feeling. I still stand by everything I say. Like the people that were hurt in the comments, it's this weird combination of like, I got what they were saying. I was like, I can see what you mean, but I still didn't agree with them. And I still stood by everything that I said because I gave a very clear disclaimer at the beginning. We do not have control over our bodies and our lives. I really believe that. But at the same time, I don't think that's a reason to not try. I don't think that's a reason to just be like, oh, whatever. It's like some people can eat whatever they want and never get acne. Some people have to watch what they eat a little bit and it helps their acne that way. And I think that that same type of mentality can apply to a lot of things. Why do some people I know, some dancers, they never had injuries, they never had to do physical therapy, and they were fine? If I don't do that stuff, I just like decline and get worse. Every body is different. And so I tried to make that message clear. My heart was not heard and I felt like it was almost combative. I don't know if that's the word. So I wanted it up because I got a lot of messages from people that were like, dude, that video was really good and really helpful, which was surprising in some ways because it's kind of basic. But in other ways, I was like, also not that surprised because like I said in the video, I had stumbled upon people that had been trying for years and then they would say, okay, now we're going to try this one thing. And I was like, oh, dang, like they weren't trying that before. Like I was trying that from the beginning. So I just thought I'll just share with everyone what we were doing. So that was a long spiel to say. I took the video down after a couple hours because I was like, not worth it. I did not do this to try to upset people. I was trying to help. And so I felt really bad and really confused. I don't even know if that was the right step, but I've decided to put that up on my Patreon because I think that the people that really get me are going to be the ones that subscribe to my Patreon. You can do it for as low as $1 a month. And every dollar is like, I'm just so grateful that anyone would spend any money to like see any content that I put up. And I talk about everything I have planned for over there. So I will hopefully see a chunk of you over on Patreon. I'm super excited for that. And that's it, guys. I will hopefully, barring me feeling better, although growing my baby is obviously my first priority, but if I feel better, I will hopefully see you guys back here soon with another new video. All right, bye guys.